Welcome back to the rarest coins. Today, we are going to take a deep look at one of the most talked about and misunderstood coins from the 1980s. The 1981 Washington Quarter, a coin you may have heard rumors about online. Some headlines and social media videos claim that one of these coins could be worth as much as $1.6 million. That's right, one single quarter allegedly selling for a fortune. So what's the truth? Could this everyday-looking coin actually be worth more than a house? Or is it just another exaggerated internet story? Stick around, because in this video, we are going to dive into the real history of the 1981 quarter, its actual value in the collector market, and what makes some coins truly rare and valuable. First, let's go back and talk a bit about the history of the Washington Quarter itself. The Washington Quarter was introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It featured a design by John Flanagan, with a left-facing portrait of Washington on the obverse, or front, of the coin. The reverse side shows a proud American eagle perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below. That design remained in use until 1998, making it one of the most familiar coin designs in American history. Now let's jump forward to the year 1981. This was still part of the pre-state quarter era. The U.S. Mint produced hundreds of millions of quarters for circulation that year. The 1981 Washington Quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, which is identified by the letter P on the front of the coin, to the right of Washington's hair tie. That year, the Philadelphia Mint produced approximately 601 million quarters. Yes, you heard that right. Over 600 million. That means this coin is anything but rare in general terms. So what does that mean for its value? If you find a 1981 quarter in your pocket, in circulated condition, with normal wear and tear from years of use, it is typically worth 25 cents. That is its face value. Most of these coins have been used in everyday commerce for decades and are still floating around in change today. However, condition matters a lot in coin collecting. If you happen to find a 1981 quarter in uncirculated condition, meaning it was never used and still has its original mint shine, then the value could be a bit higher. A coin in mint state condition, such as MS-63 or MS-64, might sell for a couple of dollars. If it's graded MS-65 or MS-66 by a professional coin grading service like PCGS or NGC, it could fetch $10 to $25 depending on the buyer. Higher grade examples, like MS-67, are much harder to find and could sell for over $100. In fact, some of the highest grade 1981 quarters known to exist have sold at auction for $200 or more. Where does the number 1.6 million come in? Let's be completely honest. As of today, there is no verified record, no legitimate auction result, and no trusted collector report of a 1981 Washington Quarter ever selling for $1.6 million. That number appears to come from exaggerated online claims, clickbait videos, or viral social media posts that are designed more to shock and entertain than to inform. These stories often feature stock photos of coins with no actual evidence of sales or auction listings. They might mix up coin dates, mint marks, or completely fabricate details just to get views. But that does not mean you should completely ignore your 1981 quarters. There are still some ways your coin could be worth more than average, and in rare cases, it could be valuable to the right collector. Let's talk about error coins. Error coins are coins that were struck incorrectly at the U.S. Mint due to mechanical or human mistakes. These errors can include things like off-center strikes, double dies, coins struck on the wrong metal planchet, or coins with missing elements like parts of the date or lettering. If you happen to find a 1981 quarter with a dramatic and obvious mint error, that coin could be worth much more than face value. Some error coins from different years have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on how rare and significant the error is. As of now, no known major errors from the 1981 quarter series have reached anywhere near $1 million in value. But if a truly unique and previously undiscovered error were to surface, it could generate serious interest from collectors. That kind of coin would need to be authenticated by a reputable grading company and confirmed as one of a kind. Another factor that could increase the value of your coin is eye appeal. Collectors will pay more for coins that are not only in high grade, but also have great luster, strike quality, and no visible blemishes. The better the coin looks, The more desirable it becomes to those building registry sets or high-end collections. So here's the real answer. The 1981 P. Washington quarter is not a rare coin. It is not worth $1.6 million. But that does not mean it is worthless either. In circulated condition, it is still worth 25 cents. In uncirculated condition, it can be worth a few dollars. In high mint state grades, it might fetch over $100. And if it features a rare and dramatic mint error, it could be worth even more, possibly several hundred or a few $1,000s depending on what the error is and how dramatic it looks. But unless your 1981 P quarter has something truly special about it, something that has never been seen before or confirmed by a grading service, it is not a $1 million coin. So the next time you hear someone say their 1981 P quarter is worth over $1 million, you'll know better. Check your coins, enjoy the hobby, and collect with knowledge. The real value in coin collecting comes not just from chasing myths, but from learning the history, appreciating the art, and understanding what makes a coin truly rare. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a future episode. Drop a comment down below if you have a 1981 P quarter or any other coin you want us to talk about. We love hearing from collectors like you. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want this adapted for a voiceover script with visual cues for video editing or made into a shorter format for social media. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into another hot topic in the world of coin collecting. We are looking at the 1987 P. Washington quarter. There are rumors circulating online, social media posts, and flashy headlines claiming that one of these coins is worth a jaw-dropping $1.4 million. But is there any truth to that? Could a regular quarter from the late 80s actually be worth that much money? Or is it just another internet myth? In this video, we are going to break down the real history of the 1987 P quarter, explore its collector value, and separate the facts from the fiction. Let's start with a little history. The Washington quarter has been a part of American coinage since 1932. It was originally introduced to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, and it quickly became a permanent part of the United States currency system. The obverse side of the coin, which features the profile of George Washington, was designed by John Flanagan. This design stayed virtually unchanged for decades and became one of the most iconic images in American coin collecting. The reverse of the coin, for most of its history up to 1998, shows an eagle with its wings spread, clutching arrows with olive branches below. This image was meant to symbolize strength and peace. For the 1987 issue, this same design was still in use, making it part of the long tradition of the original Washington quarter design. Now, let's talk about the 1987 P quarter specifically. The P mint mark means this coin was minted at the Philadelphia Mint. In that year, more than 582 million Washington quarters were struck in Philadelphia alone. Let me repeat that. Over 582 million. That makes it a very common coin in terms of total mintage. These were standard business strike coins made for everyday use in circulation, not special collector's editions, and not silver. So here comes the big question. If more than 500 million of these coins were made, how could one possibly be worth $1.4 million? The short answer is that it cannot. At least, not based on any real-world auction history, grading service records, or documented sales. There is no confirmed sale of a 1987 P quarter for $1.4 million. That number seems to come from rumors, misleading headlines, or exaggerated online posts that are meant to go viral. It makes for an exciting story, but not a factual one. Let's get into what these coins are actually worth. If you have a 1987 P quarter that has been in circulation, meaning it shows signs of wear, some scratches, dull luster, or fading details, then it is worth its face value. Just 25 cents. It is still spendable and useful, but not collectible in that condition. If the coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used, has no wear, and still has its original shine and sharp details, it could be worth a little more. These coins are called mint state coins. If a 1987 P quarter is graded by a professional grading service like PCGS or NGC and receives a high mint state grade like MS65 or MS66, it might be worth anywhere from $5 to $20 depending on the buyer and market demand. In very rare cases, an MS-67 coin could fetch between $50 and $100. There is a small number of extremely high-grade 1987 P quarters that have sold for even more. In fact, one example graded MS-67 by PCGS reportedly sold for over $1,000 at auction. But those are the absolute top of the population. Only a handful have ever been found in that kind of near-perfect condition. And even then, that is a long way from 1.4 million. So where do these wild million-dollar claims come from? In many cases, they come from confusion with other rare coins. Some rare coins in U.S. history really have sold for hundreds of thousands or even millions. These include certain early gold coins, rare pattern coins, or historically significant errors like the 1913 Liberty Head nickel or the 1794 flowing hair dollar. But those coins are extremely rare and have very different origins from the 1987 P quarter. Another possible source of the rumor is the existence of major mint errors. A mint error is when a coin is struck incorrectly at the mint. These can include things like off-center strikes, double strikes, coins struck on the wrong metal planchet, or missing details. While error coins can be valuable, no known error on a 1987 P quarter has ever sold for anywhere near $1 million. Most error coins from this year, if they exist, range in value from $10 to a few $100s, depending on how dramatic and unusual the error is. So let's be clear. A standard 1987 P quarter, even in perfect condition, is not worth $1.4 million. If you have one in great shape, it might be worth a few bucks. If it has a dramatic and confirmed mint error, it might be worth more. But if someone tells you they saw one sell for over $1 million, they are either misinformed or just repeating a myth. That being said, the 1987 P quarter is still a part of an important time in U.S. coin history. It represents the final decade of the original Washington quarter design before the launch of the 50 state quarters program in 1999. Coins from this era are increasingly appreciated by collectors who grew up with them or want to build complete sets. That if you are collecting coins, here's what you should look for in a 1987 P quarter. Check for condition first. Uncirculated or near-perfect coins are always in higher demand. Look for full detail on Washington's hair and the eagle's feathers on the reverse. Strong strike, clean surfaces, and no visible damage will all increase value. Also, keep an eye out for possible errors. If your quarter has unusual markings, is struck off-center, or shows doubling on the date or lettering, it might be worth having it checked by a professional. Just make sure you consult with a reputable grading service or coin expert. In conclusion, the 1987 P Washington quarter is a common coin with a rich history. It is not worth $1.4 million, but in the right condition or with the right error, it can be worth more than face value. Coin collecting is not just about chasing million-dollar headlines. It is about history, craftsmanship, and the thrill of discovery. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to like and subscribe for more coin collecting insights. Drop a comment if you have a 1987 P quarter or any other coin you want to learn more about. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want a shortened version, one with visual scene cues, or adapted for TikTok or Instagram formats. Welcome back to the channel. Rarest Coins. Today, we're diving into one of the most talked about and misunderstood coins in modern American currency, the 1997 P Washington quarter. You may have heard the rumors, the online stories, the eye-catching thumbnails saying this coin could be worth up to $1.2 million. But is there any truth behind those claims? Is a regular quarter from 1997 really worth life-changing money? Stick around, because we're going to break down the history, the facts, and the fiction behind this coin. Let's get into it. First, let's go back in time for a little history. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was meant to be a one-year commemorative coin, but it was so popular it became a permanent part of U.S. coinage. The original design, created by sculptor John Flanagan, features the profile of George Washington on the front and an eagle with outstretched wings on the back. That reverse design remained unchanged until 1998, just before the launch of the 50 state quarters program. Now, let's fast forward to 1997. This was the final full year of the classic eagle reverse before the new state quarter designs took over. That year, The Philadelphia Mint, which marks its coins with the letter P, produced over 595 million Washington quarters. That's right, 595 million. This means the 1997 P Washington quarter is not rare by any stretch. In fact, it's one of the more common coins from that era. Most of these coins went straight into circulation and have been used, spent, and worn down just like any other quarter over the last few decades. With that kind of mintage, hundreds of millions of coins. How can one possibly be worth over $1 million? This is where we separate fact from fiction. First off, let's talk about the real value of a 1997 P Washington quarter in normal condition. If you pull one out of your pocket right now and it looks worn or circulated, chances are it's worth exactly 25 cents. Maybe a little more if it's in very nice condition, but realistically, it's still pocket change. Now, if you happen to have a 1997 P quarter in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks brand new, no scratches, never used, that coin could be worth a few dollars to the right collector. In mint state condition, that's what collectors call pristine, graded coins. The value can climb. For example, a 1997 P quarter graded MS65, which is a high grade but not perfect, might be worth around $5 to $15. A coin graded MS67 could reach over $100. And in the rarest cases, an MS67 Plus might go for a few $1,000s at auction, depending on demand and how flawless the coin really is. The most expensive 1997 P quarter ever sold at auction reportedly went for over $3,500. That was a coin in nearly perfect condition, certified by a top grading service like PCGS or NGC. These kinds of coins are extremely rare because out of the hundreds of millions struck, only a handful survive in that level of condition. They weren't made to be collected. They were made to be spent. Where does the myth of the $1.2 million quarter come from? Most likely, it stems from internet rumors, clickbait articles, or exaggerated headlines. It's common these days to see videos and posts claiming a regular-looking coin is secretly worth a fortune. Some of these posts are designed just to get your attention, to make you click, to watch, to share. Unfortunately, most of the time, there's no truth behind the numbers. In the case of the 1997 P quarter, there is no confirmed sale, no verified auction, and no documented example of this coin ever selling for anything close to $1.2 million. However, there are rare coins in U.S. history that have sold for 6 or even 7 figures. These include error coins, double dies, or special varieties that were never meant to be released to the public. But for the 1997 P quarter, no such known error or variety exists that would give it that kind of value. That being said, there are a few ways your 1997 P quarter could be worth more than face value. One is if it has a significant mint error. For example, a coin struck off-center, a double strike, or a wrong planchet error, meaning it was struck on the wrong type of metal, can be valuable. Some of these error coins can sell for $50, a few hundred, or even more, depending on how rare and dramatic the error is. Another factor that can increase value is condition. If your coin has never been used, is still shiny and sharp in detail, and you send it to a grading company where it receives a top-tier grade, it could fetch some money from collectors looking for the best of the best. But again, the odds of your 1997 P quarter being worth over $1 million are practically zero. The vast majority of these coins are only worth their face value. Even the best examples top out at a few $1,000s. And those are truly the best of the best. Here's the bottom line. If you have a 1997 P Washington quarter in your change jar or wallet, it's a cool piece of history. It marks the end of an era just before the state quarters took over. If it's in good shape, maybe it's worth a couple of bucks. But unless it has a major mint error or is graded at the absolute highest level possible, it's not going to make you rich. And no, it's not worth $1.2 million. But don't let that discourage you. Coin collecting is about more than money. It's about the stories, the history, the thrill of the hunt. That quarter in your pocket connects you to decades of American history, art, and craftsmanship. And who knows, maybe the next coin you come across really will be a rare error or hidden treasure. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about coins, collecting, and how to spot valuable pieces in your own pocket change, be sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Drop a comment if you have a 1997 P quarter or any other coin you're curious about. We'd love to hear your stories. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want the script optimized for a short, voiceover, or TikTok-style format. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting to uncover the truth behind one of the most talked-about coins in circulation, the 1993 Washington Quarter. Specifically, we are going to explore its history, its real collector value, and most importantly, whether there is any truth to the claims floating around online that this coin could be worth a staggering $1.3 million. Grab your coin jars, check your wallets, and let's get into the story behind the 1993 Washington Quarter. First, let's talk about the basics. The Washington Quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. It was originally introduced to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington, and its design has become iconic over the decades. On the front, you have the left-facing profile of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, which remained unchanged for decades. On the reverse side, you'll see the familiar eagle design with outstretched wings, a symbol of strength and liberty. Now, the 1993 Washington Quarter was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, indicated by the small letter P on the front of the coin just next to Washington's ponytail. In that year, over 639 million of these quarters were minted. That is a massive number. So right from the start, we know that this is not a rare coin in terms of how many were produced. It was struck in standard copper-nickel clad, not silver, and it was intended for everyday circulation. Most of these coins were used in daily transactions, got scratched up, worn down, and eventually just became part of ordinary pocket change. With such a high mintage, how is it that people are claiming this coin is worth over $1 million? Let's look at the facts. If you find a 1993 Washington Quarter in circulated condition, meaning it's been used in everyday commerce, maybe has some scratches, discoloration, or wear on the edges, then the coin is typically worth its face value of 25 cents. Sometimes, if the coin is in really nice condition, maybe someone would pay 50 cents or $1 for it. But realistically, it's just pocket change. Now, if your coin is in uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used, no scratches, bright luster, and sharp detail, then it might fetch a few dollars from a collector. Coins that have been professionally graded and certified by companies like PCGS or NGC and received high mint state grades like MS65 or MS66 might sell for between $5 and $20. If a coin reaches an extremely high grade, such as MS67 or higher, it could go for a few $100s or more, depending on the demand at the time. So far, the most expensive confirmed sale of a 1993 Washington Quarter came from a certified MS67 coin that sold at auction for around $1,000. That's an exceptional coin in top condition. But even that is a far cry from the $1.3 million number that is going viral in some videos and posts online. Where is this $1.3 million story coming from? The truth is, it is most likely based on misinformation, clickbait, or just internet rumors designed to get attention. There is no record of a 1993 Washington Quarter ever selling for $1.3 million at any official auction or through any credible dealer. None. Zero. Sometimes, these stories come from people mixing up coins with different varieties or rare errors. There are legitimate U.S. coins that have sold for over $1 million. Things like early gold coins, rare double eagles, or colonial-era coins. But not modern clad quarters from the 1990s. That being said, there are a few ways your 1993 Quarter might be worth more than average. Let's talk about errors. Error coins are coins that were misstruck at the mint and somehow made it into circulation. These include things like off-center strikes, double dies, clipped planchets, or coins struck on the wrong metal. While no major errors have been officially documented for the 1993 Quarter, it is always possible that rare, unreported examples exist. If you find a coin that looks very strange, it could be worth sending it in for grading or evaluation by a coin expert. Some collectors have paid decent money for extreme off-center strikes or dramatic errors, even on common date coins. So if your 1993 Quarter looks odd, is missing details, is struck off the rim, or has doubled letters or numbers, you may want to take a closer look. But even then, Error coins typically sell for anywhere from $20 to a few $100s, not millions. Another thing that affects value is condition. Coins that were preserved in original mint packaging or stored in a collection for decades without being handled are more likely to be in pristine condition. The top-graded coins, often called condition rarities, can bring strong prices at auction. But again, we are talking hundreds or maybe thousands, not millions. So here's the bottom line. The 1993 P. Washington quarter is a cool piece of American coinage history. It marks the final years of the traditional eagle-back design before the 1999 introduction of the 50-state quarter series, which changed the way people collected coins forever. It's a common coin, but in mint condition or with an unusual error, it could have some collectible value. However, the idea that a 1993 P quarter is worth $1.3 million is simply not based in fact. No auction house has ever reported a sale like that. No grading company has authenticated such a coin. It's a myth. And while it's fun to dream, it's even better to deal with facts and real opportunities in the world of coin collecting. So if you have a 1993 P quarter, take a look at its condition. Check for errors. If it seems unusual, maybe get a second opinion from a trusted coin dealer or grading service. But don't quit your job just yet. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into coins, currency, and collectibles. Drop a comment below if you have a 1993 P quarter or any other coin you're curious about. And as always, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want a version for voiceover narration or a shorter version for social media clips. Welcome back to the channel. Today we are taking a deep dive into one of the most talked about coins in American change, the 1990 D. Washington quarter. You may have seen the headlines. You may have watched the videos. You may have even heard someone say that one of these quarters is worth as much as $1.5 million. Yes, $1.5 million for a regular-looking coin that could be sitting in your pocket or change jar right now. But is there any truth to this claim? Is the 1990 D quarter actually worth that much? Or is this just another internet myth built to go viral? Let's break it all down. We will look at the history of the Washington quarter, the facts about the 1990 D issue, what real collectors are actually paying for these coins, and finally, whether there is any reason one of these could be worth a small fortune. Let's start with some background. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. The coin featured the now iconic left-facing portrait of George Washington, designed by sculptor John Flanagan. This design remained basically unchanged for over 65 years, making it one of the most recognized coin designs in American history. On the reverse side of the coin is a bald eagle with its wings spread, perched on a bundle of arrows, with olive branches below. This classic design symbolized strength and peace, and it lasted until 1998, just before the release of the 50-state quarters program. Now let's talk about the 1990 D quarter specifically. The D mint mark means this coin was minted at the Denver Mint. In 1990, the Denver Mint produced more than 927 million Washington quarters. That is not a typo. Over 927 million. That makes this coin one of the most heavily produced quarters of its era. So what does that mean for collectors? It means the 1990 D. Washington quarter is extremely common. It was made for general circulation and is not rare in the traditional sense. You can still find them today in everyday change. But that brings us to the rumor that one of these coins could be worth a jaw-dropping $1.5 million. Where does this claim come from? Is it possible? And what is the reality? Let's answer that. First, the truth is this. There is absolutely no verified record of any 1990 D. Washington quarter selling for $1.5 million. No auction house, no professional coin dealer, no credible collector has ever confirmed a sale anywhere near that price. That number appears to come from viral rumors, exaggerated internet posts, and eye-catching headlines designed to attract clicks, not to reflect actual sales or collector value. But that does not mean your 1990 D quarter is worthless. There are still some real cases where this coin can be worth more than face value. So let's look at what gives it value in the real coin market. The first factor is condition. If you have a 1990 D quarter that has been in circulation, meaning it has wear, scratches, or loss of detail, it is usually worth just 25 cents. But if you find one in uncirculated condition, with no wear and original mint luster, it could be worth more. These coins are called mint state coins. A coin graded MS65 or MS66, which is a high grade for modern coins, could sell for $5 to $20. A coin that reaches MS67 could bring in over $100 depending on the market. A 1990 D quarter in top-tier condition, professionally graded and certified, could reach values as high as a few $100s. But even at the highest certified grades, no 1990 D quarter has come close to hitting $1 million, let alone 1.5 million. What could possibly make a 1990 D quarter extremely valuable? The answer is simple. Error coins. Error coins are coins that were accidentally misstruck at the mint. Some of the most common types of errors include off-center strikes, double dies, wrong planchet errors, and coins with missing elements like letters or dates. If you have a 1990 D quarter that has an obvious and dramatic mint error, it could be worth much more than a regular example. For instance, an off-center error where the design is noticeably shifted might sell for $50 to $200. A double die error, where elements of the design appear doubled, might sell for more. A coin struck on the wrong planchet, for example, if it was accidentally made using the metal of a dime or a foreign coin, could bring in several hundred or even thousands depending on the severity and rarity. The problem is, no major, widely recognized error has been discovered on a 1990 D quarter that would justify a $1 million price tag. And that is the key point here. The $1.5 million rumor does not appear to be based on a real coin. It is not supported by any record, auction listing, or verified expert in the numismatic world. It is more likely an internet myth, the kind of thing people love to share without checking the facts. That said, there is nothing wrong with checking your quarters. You never know when a rare error might appear in your change. That is part of what makes coin collecting fun. It is the thrill of the hunt. And who knows, maybe one day someone will find a new, major error on a 1990 D quarter that changes everything. But as of now, that $1 million story is fiction, not fact. So here is the bottom line. The 1990 D Washington quarter is a common coin. In circulated condition, it is worth about 25 cents. In uncirculated condition, it might be worth a few dollars, and in the highest certified grades it could bring in hundreds. If it has a rare and dramatic mint error, it could be worth more. But there is no verified case of any 1990 D quarter ever being worth $1.5 million. Still, it is a coin with a rich history and a classic design. It is a reminder of a time before the modern commemorative quarter programs. And for collectors who enjoy building complete sets or searching for the best examples, it still holds value and interest. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video and learned something new, make sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more deep dives into coins, currency, and collectibles. Drop a comment if you have a 1990 D quarter or any other coin you are curious about. And as always, keep searching, stay curious, and happy collecting. Let me know if you want this adapted into a voiceover version, short-form script, or with visual cues for video editing.